Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. Hello again. I'm going to be doing kind of what I did with a video just last week, and basically a four-round mock draft. It was a super flex, and I kind of just took them and put them all in a line. So I'm going to do it in a little bit different format. Maybe this will be easier to understand or whatever. But I did take a little creative license. Obviously, it was a super flex, so three quarterbacks came off on 2, 3, and 4. So I kind of pushed them all in there and then back and jammed them into the where a lot of times first round guys are going to go, quarterbacks are going to go in one quarterback leagues. So I kind of hammered them in a spot and kind of just pushed everybody else back or up accordingly. So it's almost the exact same order as that was in a super flex, but the quarterbacks are just pushed back. So, and I wound up doing this because I'm also going to be keeping track of the players in the one quarterback league starting in May. So I kind of just said, hell with it. I'm just going to put it in a spreadsheet and get her going. So if you like the information, obviously comment, click subscribe, hit the like button, all that good garbage. So let's just get into it. So this was a one quarterback, and I'm just going to call it top 50 picks based on off a super flex. Like I said, it was a super flex draft. I pushed the quarterbacks back a little bit so you can see what it looks like. All right. So still would be Bijan and then Gibbs and then Smith and Jigba. Quentin Johnson is still going ahead of Addison and Zay Flowers. So that's where your tier break is. And obviously between Bijan and Gibbs, there was three quarterbacks in there, right, in that chunk. So I wound up putting Bryce Young down at number 9 after the spot where I thought that maybe a mini tier break or whatever, but based off of how they had drafted, because Bryce Young, I figured in the 9-10 spot somewhere in there, maybe one of the quarterbacks should go, so I just grabbed the first one. So as it would fall then in this draft, based off of the real draft, I mean Bryce Young was at 2 actually, so I bumped him down to 9 because he was the first quarterback taken. So then Kincaid and Charbonnet, still good landing spots. A-Chain and Miller there. So Miller went ahead of A-Chain in that draft. So I think so with if you bump Kendra Miller back 3 spots, he was actually 2-1 and A-Chain was 2-2. Jonathan Mingo would have been right there also. So that, and I broke this down just to do a real quick breakdown of it so you can see round 1, 2, 3, and 4 of it. So and then so basically this is how I'm going to start off my list for when I'm doing it. I put in where they get drafted, add a new one for every draft, and then get an ADP on one quarterback leagues, which will be coming up, and I'll just keep doing those through the end of May. Little videos like this. So a couple people are watching them, so I'm gonna keep doing them. What the hell? It's for my information anyways. So when I'm in a draft, I know when guys are typically taken. It did help me a lot last year. Just an FYI. So, but as you can see, Kendra Miller, Devon A-Chain, and Jonathan Mingo would be guys who are going to wind up being drafted also probably towards the back half of round 1. So we're going to turn it into round 2 here. So I always like to take it in chunks, first half and second half kind of deal. And that's how I'd want to look at how this draft would go. All right, so Josh Downs, Marvin Mims. I don't know why CJ Stroud got centered, but hey, there you go. That's where he's at. And so I kind of thought that in the early second, there might be a little bit of a run of a quarterbacks, especially the ones that are actually going to start, or Richardson, who has the upside. So that's actually how it popped out here. So I think actually in the real one, I thought Stroud would be was the second quarterback taken, and Richardson was the third in the Superflex. But in the one quarterback leagues, I'm assuming that everybody's got a good quarterback, so I think Richardson might jump Stroud as far as an option early in the second. So I just put a little mini quarterback run there. So again, Josh Downs was at 13. He was really at 16, right? So just keep that in mind. So after 16, it kind of becomes more realistic in the second half of the second round where all these guys actually fell. All right. So Marvin Mims, Richardson, Stroud. So Michael Mayer would have been right where he's at pick 17. So early to mid second, same. Roshan Johnson right in the middle of the second round, as you can see there. Followed closely by Tank Bigsby and you had Jordan Reed, Laporta. So you have a few more tight ends coming off the board, in the second round with Jalen Hyatt, finishing that up. So if you're looking at a running back, try to get into the mid second round, mid to early second round to make sure you get Roshan, or Tank, unless you're going to want to be at the end of the first round and get Charbonnet and or A-Chain. All right. So that's kind of those for running backs, and there's wide receivers are everywhere, and quarterbacks are everywhere in this draft, and tight ends. So there you go. So let's flip it over to what they put down into the third round. Oh, Will Levitt's down there. I plugged him in there because he also went in the first round of that draft. I figured, in a one quarterback league, a team that was in a championship caliber run probably has a good quarterback, probably has a good backup, but at 211 Will Levis would be a good pick probably for a future, or be able to let somebody, because as soon as next year he's probably the starter there in Tennessee. So good value pick, probably somewhere around there in a one quarterback league, or probably early third. I just threw him in there to try to keep it a little bit more. Tried to make up the super flex portion of this thing as soon as I could. All right, so I pushed him in there. So basically, this is how it wound up going. Early third round, you have the run on the running backs, Tajay Spears and Zach Evans. And then Michael Wilson and Boutte, a couple of wide receivers. Tight end again with Musgrave. Cedric Tillman falling all the way down almost to the mid third with Tyler Scott. Israel, with that three-headed monster there, which is actually a one-headed monster in Brees Hall in New York. Slides all the way to the mid third. I don't know why Darnell Washington was even drafted. He's not going to be a thing. I keep saying that. Tank Dell, Eric Gray, Hendon Hooker, then Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker was actually the fourth overall selection, but somebody grabbed like Stetson Bennett or something crazy like that ahead of him. So I pushed Sean Tucker up because he was actually picked 4-1, so he gets 311. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that. And then we have the last round. So this is going to wind up being the top 50 picks, like it says right below me. Once again, if you like the content, click subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and obviously ask questions or say something stupid with what I'm saying here. Comment about my stupidity. There you go. So Deuce Vaughn, Xavier Hutchinson, Schoonamaker, who is like a 24-year-old tight end. If you get him at this spot in the draft, I mean, treat him like he's a regular veteran, right? Dwayne McBride, a little bit of a reach, I think, there. Coons, Kraft, Clay Toon, another quarterback. Stetson Bennett, a little run there in cornerbacks. Evan Hull all the way down at 47. My personal opinion, if I can get him early to mid third round, especially if I have Jonathan Taylor, get that priority handcuff down, because I do think that Evan Hull is going to be the backup running back there. Brenton Strange and Chase Brown was all the way down near the bottom. Pick 49. That was his actual pick in this draft. I would like him somewhere in the mid third round would be great for me. And so there you go, Darius Davis. So that's what the actual picks were in this draft. So hopefully I've set them out there long enough for everybody to see. You can always rewind and go back over it. So this is based off of the one quarterback whole project. Top 50 picks based on Superflex. And those were the actual top 50 picks. Like I said, I just moved the quarterbacks down a little bit and pushed a couple guys up to make it a little bit more realistic for a one quarterback dynasty league. So let me know if you think that I'm pushing these quarterbacks up too high or not far enough down in a one quarterback league. That'd be good to know. That's pretty much all the information I wanted to run through it really quickly to give you just an idea of, if you do have a draft coming up, where these guys are landing. So that's two examples now on them, and I haven't done an ADP on them. Maybe I'll do it next time. I don't know. I've got them. I can just add a column and slap it in there, and I can have two ADPs on a super flex and push them down. But at any rate, it is what it is. Hopefully you guys like the content. Hopefully it helps you a little bit. If you have any questions, I would love to get some comments below. Until next time, take care. I look forward to seeing you again.